Hello and welcome to Watching Watches. Today I'll be reviewing a revised version of the Pagani Daytona homage, and I also have a sneak peek of a new Pagani watch which is due to be released in the coming months, and I think it's definitely worth sticking around for. This is my very first video, so if you're watching around the middle of 2020, you will notice I have very few subscribers. So if you don't mind the video, please help me out, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Now, I did try to ask Pagani about the company history. They were quite cagey on it, didn't give away too much. I know they haven't been around for too long, but that's fine with me because as you'll see in the video, they do make really high quality watches at a very low cost. They did, however, tell me that all their watches are made in Guangdong in China, and that's also where their offices are. I think it's also the same factory where Bliger and Parnis are made, because I have seen some watches that are very similar to Pagani, but they do just have different logos. So this is the box that the watch was received in. I have already taken it out of the box, but I thought you might like to see the packaging. It comes with a guarantee card, which has not been signed, a user's manual and an international guarantee. Nice polishing cloth. And here is the watch itself, the Daytona homage PD1644. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the nice ceramic bezel. I've never used a tachymeter before, but I will explain how it works. They're usually used for measuring the average speed of an object. So the numbers on the dial equate to the number 3600, which is the number of seconds in 1 hour, divided by the elapsed time in seconds. So the times you can measure is normally from about 7 seconds right up to 1 minute. If you know the distance that an object is traveling, you can measure the time with your watch. And that way you can calculate the average speed. So I'll give you an example. We just start the dial there. If a racing car completes a 1 kilometer track in, let's say, for example, let that go to 15 seconds, which is a very short period of time. You can see the number on there is 240 on the bezel. So that means that the average speed of that car on the 1 kilometer track was 240 kilometers per hour. I'll just quickly show you the watch out of the packaging. I have changed this strap, so this is an aftermarket leather strap. Let's just take a few dimensions to start off. Lug to lug of roughly 48 millimeters. Thickness of 11 millimeters. And diameter of just on 39. So overall they're very comfortable dimensions, and that will fit my 6 3/4 inch wrist nicely. Now let's move on to the weight. So it's obviously going to be quite light on this leather strap. Just 70 grams. And this is the steel bracelet that it came with. I have weighed the watch with the bracelet and it's 137 grams. Next thing I'd like to show you here is a Sapphire crystal check, because I have heard stories about Chinese watches, which is where the Pagani is made. Chinese watches saying that they are sapphire crystal when in fact they have a mineral crystal. So I will start with the Citizen, which I know is a mineral crystal, and I'm only getting 1 extra light there, which is what I would expect with a sapphire glass, which is this Seiko here, I'd expect around 3 or 4 extra lights. So let's check that one. Okay, there we go, that's Sapphire. And we'll just check this Pagani. So that Pagani definitely has a sapphire crystal. No anti-reflective coating, and it is flat, but I think it suits the watch very well. I'll quickly talk about some other features of this watch. The case is a high polish stainless steel on the sides and the lugs. The pushes and the crown are also stainless steel. All 3 of them are screw-in to help improve the water resistance. The back features the Pagani logo and a few specifications. Now, what's different about the early releases of this model are that they were 30 meters water resist, so you might not have confidence taking them swimming. This is 100 meters water resistance, and I haven't taken it swimming yet, but I'll be more than happy to. And I might be changing out the leather strap for something else. And speaking of the strap, a quick comment on the bracelet that it came with. This is the bracelet. It's okay. Screw-in pins, polish in the center links there. I did have quite a few problems opening this bracelet, so that's why I've swapped it out. It doesn't line up perfectly, so I wouldn't recommend using it. It has a nice idea of a what Rolex calls a comfort extension. So I'll show you that here. This bit pops out to give you, I think it's about 6 millimeters more if you've been exercising or if it's a hot day, but it is quite difficult to use. I'll just try and put that back in, and I've already popped it in and out about 30 times just to try and loosen it up, but it still seems quite stiff. There we go. So I can't even close that right now. I'll just leave that one. What I will show you though is another clasp which I've purchased. It looks like it's come out of the same factory, almost identical, except it does have more brushing on it. But I do prefer this one, and I will be installing it. And the reason is because, well, first of all, I can close it, whereas this one it doesn't line up properly. And also, if I can just get this open, it has a different extension here. So it's more like the glide lock on a Rolex. The rest of the bracelet would be attached here. And then this will pop out. And you can move it, and it's probably about 2 centimeter range, which is really good. And it's a whole lot easier to use as well. The micro adjust on the original bracelet is also very difficult. So that'll just snap back in. Yeah, these Pagani bracelets do need some improvement. So I did purchase this clasp from AliExpress. It was around $15 US. Now onto the dial, which is my favorite part of the watch. I have heard that some negative comments about the white background, but I really do like it. I think it looks great. 3 sub-dials there. The first one is for 24-hour time. So that moves once every 24 hours. The second is the seconds hand for the regular watch. And the third sub-dial, moving from left to right, is the minute counter for the tachymeter, which counts up to 1 hour. We've got the date window at the 4:30 position there, a little bit of an unusual place, but it looks okay. Applied indices and nice high polish hands there. You can see the reflection in the natural light. So this dial is absolutely amazing, and I really do think it makes the watch. The lume is no good at all. The indices light up and also the hands, but the lume only lasts a few minutes, so don't buy this watch if you want good lume. The movement is an interesting one. It's a Seiko VK63, so it's a mecha quartz, runs off a battery, but it does have some of the mechanical aspects of the chronograph. So I can just show you that. You can see the seconds hand ticking for the stopwatch there, and it's moving at around 5 ticks per second, which is a lot like a mechanical watch. The other favorite feature of this is the flyback. So if I just stop that hand, and if you keep an eye on that hand there, I'll reset it back to the 12 o'clock, and it moves back very quickly. Quite like using that chronograph. I will show you on the Seiko, which is also a chronograph. We've got the seconds hand ticking there. Now I'll stop that in just a second. And if you watch this one fly back to the 12 o'clock position, it actually moves back a lot slower than on the Pagani, which is still very interesting. I like both of those movements. Now, if I talk about the price of this watch, it was around $65 US, which I think is amazing value. The dial is absolutely stunning, as well as the sapphire crystal and ceramic bezel. Really does make this watch look much more valuable than $65. A couple of things I might like to improve is the screws on the chrono pushers and also the crown are a little bit scratchy, feels like there's sand in them. And the other improvement could be a lot to do with the clasp and the bracelet. The bracelet has sharp edges, the clasp doesn't close properly, and overall you can tell it's a fairly low quality. I did buy this watch myself though, and I will be keeping it, as I do really like it and I highly recommend it. So just before finishing this video, I was reminded that some viewers may like to see the watch on the original bracelet. So here it is. The first end links just here. They don't move, so it will make the watch wear a little bit bigger, but that's okay because it is only a 40mm watch. Just a quick shot on the wrist. I changed the clasp over, so that's why it closes nicely. But you can still see there the finishing is a little bit sharp, so they haven't done a lot of work on that. Okay, there it is. I think the head of this watch is absolutely amazing, so it will look good on any bracelet or any strap that you put it on. I hope you enjoyed that review. As promised, here's a preview of the new Pagani release. As you can see, it's an Omega Seamaster homage that's 42mm in diameter. And no surprises for guessing the movement, they'll be using an automatic Seiko NH35. I think this watch looks great. I'm not sure about leaving off the famous Omega helium escape valve. You can leave your comments at the end and tell me what you think. Thanks a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and have a great day.